Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this morning we have the weekend workout where we'll play with our body weight, stretching, rolling.
That's right. It's a half-hour practice where we'll start with the head and neck, rib cage, take it to the feet, and enjoy some full body stretch and strengths, as Lauren has already mentioned, from the floor. So all you need is a little bit of space. Let's get started from standing. And then, as I said, Lauren will take it to the floor. Start with the chin tuck and obviously take some nice slow breaths. Check in with your body. How do these light movements feel today? With the chin tuck, lightly take your head and neck into extension. Could you still look on the horizon as you extend on the neck? Then keep looking straight ahead as you flex the chin towards the sternum. Repeat once more. Keep your eyes on the horizon yet again as you extend at the neck. The crown of the head goes high, the chin goes low as you flex. Reset in that level position, looking straight ahead. Next, keep your eyes forward, keep your nose stable, and laterally bend ear to shoulder. Then return through center and repeat on the other side. Laterally bending, slow to go, and strong to return. One more time each side. As we manipulate the head this way, let's try to move the head, but move the neck very little. Small ranges can be very simple and strong ways to alleviate pain in the head and neck and address some mobility as well. Next, keep your chin tucked. The eyes will move this time and slowly look over the right or left shoulder in a rotation. Then return through center, repeat to the other side. That crown of head goes high, the chin stays level, and the eyes continue to look on the horizon as you go through center. Repeat to the other side once more. Last time rotation. And then again, return to the middle. Let's replicate those same actions at the rib cage, but let's start with that lateral flexion. Adjust your stance if you need. Hands in nice and tight. And like a teapot, tip the rib cage over the hips. Stay in this cylinder idea here, or the rib cage to stay over the hips. Avoid that excessive side bend lean, at least for now. Then one more time, we'll do sets of twos as well here. Our lateral teapot tip. Same thing to the other side. Up and over, making room, always. Then let's try that front back forward flexion. Like a candy cane or a hook, go up and over to flex. The eyes may look at the ground this time. And then back on the horizon. Extend as if in concrete from the bottom of the ribs up. So the low back is stability, the upper back mobility. And repeat one last time, our flexion or forward shape. And then low effort to extend through that upper back. Reset in that level position. Then we'll coordinate the head with the ribs now. I'll be looking to my right with my head first to go to Lauren. Then rotate through the torso, keeping the hips squared forward with a light butt cheek squeeze. Then return the head to face forward, the body to follow next. Repeating, chin tuck, rotate the other way at the head neck. Keep the shoulder blades in retraction as you aim to catch up in that rotation, and then head to center and torso to center next. One last time each side. Shoulder blades retract, rotate head and neck, casual rotation through that upper back. Head to center returning, torso to follow. And our last repetition, chin tuck, rotate, shoulder blades squeeze, rotate the rib cage next, head to center, and torso to assemble back. Shake it a little bit out. We'll come back to movements like that again with me. And until then, Lauren.
Let's get to the floor, warm up those wrists, hang out in splits, and see where that takes us. Starting with our forwards folds, that light chin tuck, that up and over our hips. Our hips are in concrete here, and we are trying to flex or fold over them. Come on down to that first forward fold of the day. Take a little breath. Ooh, can those hammies straighten? Ooh, maybe bend them. And then straighten them one more time. And then bend them. And slowly walk yourself out so that your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. We'll place those hands down nice and wide, fingers spread out, shoulders pulled out of your ears, and those elbow pits forward. With all 10 fingers pressing heavy into the floor, let's pull ourselves into wrist extension or noon on the clock so our shoulders are over top of our wrists. Next, start to transfer your weight in a clockwise direction, in a clockwise direction around. Feeling that weight go from fingertip to the base of the hand, and then around to that lateral side, and back to the fingertips. Next, let's reverse it and go counterclockwise. Shifting that weight, distributing the load through the hand, not just through that wrist line. All the way to center. Once in center, maybe bring your knees in a little closer and then press through those first knuckles, and come back down. Now, as you do this for 4 more times, are those elbows staying super straight with those elbow pits forward on the up and on the down? 2 more like so, keeping the shoulders out of the ears, elbows straight. On this last one, flick the floor away, shaking that out. Well, that feels so good. Next, let's go to our full fists. Full fists down, shoulders packed, pits rotated forward of the elbow, that is, and gently roll open the back of the hand. Same idea when you're here. The shoulder stays heavy out of your ear. The elbow's trying to rotate forward, and the pinky, the ring, the middle, the index, and the thumb are all heavy on the floor. Push into the floor to get back to your fist, and repeat on the other side. Roll over the back of the hand. Open it up. Keep that shoulder packed. Reach those fingers to the floor and then press back up. One last time on each side. Opening up. Is one side easier than the other to get your fingers touching the floor? And press. Last time on that second hand. Fingers heavy. And then press back to knuckles. Push the floor away. And let's find our 90-90 first, and then we'll progress into our splits. So in that 90-90 or mer person, we have our legs in that lunge-like shape. Let's either point our feet or flex our feet, but not be in between. Sitting up tall first, how does this feel? Can you sit up on this side without a hand, or do you feel like you're gonna fall over? Can you push this knee heavy into the floor for a couple seconds? And then we'll find this elbow. Elbow is in line with the hip. Elbow is underneath your shoulder. Shoulder is packed. Head is in line with your body. Next, keep that front knee heavy and gently extend that back hip. What that means is you're squeezing your back butt cheek, pressing the hip forward. At the same time you're doing that, you're reaching long out of your body. So lift up and away from the floor and stretch out the smarty of your head and out the end of your knee. Reach away from center for 3, 2, lightly relax. Now let's push that front knee back down, extend that back hip and add a little bit of a rotation. The head will look at the elbow on the floor and then the rib cage will roll closed. Then the head will rotate open and the cage will rotate open. Hang out here for a couple seconds. We're looking up towards the ceiling, rotating through that upper body, but still extending that back hip for 3, 2, and then lightly relax. Press the floor away. Let's switch it up. Same thing on the other side. So first we started sitting up tall, seeing how that felt. Might feel a little bit different on this side. Oh yeah, harder. Whoa, harder. Ooh. Now let's push that front knee heavy into the floor for a couple seconds there. 3, 2, and then we'll gently find the elbow. From the elbow again. Oh, I want to stay inside. From the elbow.
Come in the camera frame there, Lauren.
From elbow is in line with hip. Elbow is underneath shoulder. Front knee is pushing heavy and that back hip is extending. As that back hip extends, again, we're reaching long out of the tip of our head and long out of that knee, creating space. I get that nice kind of psoas stretch through that middle of my body here. Then lightly relax. Re-extend that hip. Take that top arm across your chest. And the head will look at the elbow on the floor. Next, that upper body will rotate closed, and then the head will rotate open, and the upper body will follow. And here with that upper body opening up, we'll still extend that back hip, rotate open, push the floor away with that bottom elbow, shoulder. 3, 2, gently return to center. Press yourself back up.
And we're in that sits position. We crawl in this practice. Let's return to those hands one more time and address those shoulder blades. On all fours or all 6 points, being knees, toes, and those hands. Open them up wide. The blood donations face forward. And we're doing our shoulder retraction, elevation, depression, protraction, which is essentially that circle shape at the shoulders. Start looking between those hands and retract the shoulders together. Check. Then lightly elevate the shoulders as a shrug. Keep the spine quiet and wrap the blades around, pressing into the floor with those straight elbows. Pull the blades down to the hips. Finish in retraction. We'll do that one more time. Hover the knees if that's a nice challenge you'd like to add on. And repeat. Retraction, check. Elevation, shrugging up to the ears. Push into the floor. Pull down to the hips. Finish in retraction. If your knees are hovering, place them down and push the floor away to reset the hands, the grips, and always to check in. Let's do that circle now in the other way. So it's a retraction, a down, a forward, and up. Once with my knees down, and challenge yourself for that second rep with the knees hovering if you wish. Hinge hips, accept the floor fingertips, callus, hand. Retract the shoulders, neutral look on the head and neck, looking at the hands at the floor or at the hands on the ground. Pull the shoulder blades down to the hips. Keep the spine or rib cage quiet and press into the floor. Then shrug the shoulders up to the ears and retract, pulling the blades together. If you wish, let's hover those knees and repeat. We're pulling down to the hips with straight elbows, then pressing into the floor with straight elbows, shrugging up to the ears, resetting in our retraction, knees down, and press that floor away. Let's sit in either a split or that 90-90 shape, whatever Lauren thinks is up.
Let's sit in that split. We'll move our rib cage a little bit, try to ins and out those hips a little bit,
Awesome.
And see where that takes us. Oh. Yeah.
Feeling like we swung or squatted the other day.
Yeah, we did some things this week. Okay. In our splits legs position, I like when I'm in my splits to be pointed toes, either again be that dorsiflex or the pointed, nothing in between. Sitting up tall, light grip on the floor. I like to then retract my shoulder blades. Next, let's try that flexion and extension first. So with a light chin tuck, you will be thinking about rounding through that upper back. Next, once you're rounded, are your blades still together? Then, keeping your blades together, your low body stationary, which it is, extend that heart chest forward. As you do that, did your head chin initiate that movement, or did you do it from that T-spine or rib cage area? Let's try that again. Light flexion to round through that upper back, keeping your blades lightly retracted. And then think about extending your chest forward. Keep that light chin tuck as to not crank on the head neck. And then relax. One of my favorite, well, I have two, so let's do them both. My second favorite thing to do in the splits is to slide side to side. So taking that rib cage, sliding it side to side. You can keep that light grip up off on the floor, or even add those arms side to side so you can see that the shoulders are staying parallel, chest is staying level, and then back to center. And my final favorite thing is a little bit of a side bend. So taking that inside arm and gently placing it on the inside of your leg, and then reaching that off arm up and over. If your shoulder doesn't like that, it could come to the chest. Otherwise, we reach that arm over the head, keep that room between the shoulder and the ear as to not get crunchy up there. Breathe, maybe even try to rotate open to the ceiling. Oh yeah. And then pull yourself back up tall. And let's repeat on the other side. Side bend, anchor that arm inside, over, and then we reach with that arm. Oh, feel that lat open up. Try to breathe into that side rib cage there. And then pull, returning to tall. Before we come out of these splits, could we wiggle ourselves any deeper into them? And then as we go, maybe extending towards that pancake shape. So as we go here, that anterior tip of the tailbone, the long spine, noticing the difference of how I look here versus, look, I can get my nose to the floor.
Extension,
so keep
extension.
that extension. And then relax. Gently bring those legs together.
Excellent. Let's return to a standing position through our first crawling shape that we'll explore later as well. The down dog, the elephant, the house shape, your butt up in the air with those hands on the floor. Hands, they grip. Tailbone tips like that cow, so that tailbone is reaching towards the ceiling. Then push the floor forward through the hands, push it back through the feet, and lift bent knees or the hips towards the ceiling. At this position, are those elbows straight? Can you maintain your breath? And is the tailbone reaching to the sky? Hold that for a second longer and return your knees back to the floor with control. Reset the shoulders, perhaps resetting the grips as well. The tailbone tips like cow. Push the floor forward, push the floor back through the feet, and lift with bent knees, the hips to the ceiling. If you're interested to straighten knees, pull away from the floor or in those femur sockets, like Lauren said in the lunge. Hold for a second longer, return the knees to the floor for the last time. When we get up this time, let's assemble in our fold to stack. So it's that tailbone tip like cow, press the floor forward. Safely stiffening the knees and then walking the hands to the feet, or those feet to hands if your space allows. And then in that forward fold, take a couple breaths and exhale. And when we stack, the knees are straight, the chin is tucked, the rib cage stays pulling onto those hips, and we stack vertebrae by vertebrae from the bottom to the top. And always up here, the wiggles and shakes. I'll take over some light squatting as Lauren will take us back to those zoo exhibits and those crawling shapes. First, little knees over toes.
Ooh.
With your feet in your parallel position. Check those ups and downs.
Oh, I just gotta sneeze sometimes.
Check those ups and downs.
I'm allergic to the upside
or those
down.
sneezes. So feet are in parallel position. Pull the feet behind you. They won't move, but allow the knees to go towards over those toes. Then push the hips through, safely squeezing the bums and pulling up the kneecaps. Repeating for 2 more, we'll go those knees over toes, press those hips through, and one last time, knees over toes, hips extend, squeeze, squeeze, and then pivot on those heels. Stay tall and push down and out. Hopefully your glutes could turn on, the hips might feel a stretch on the front, and those core muscles might activate as well. Then stay right here, but pull your feet together. Can you feel those adductor muscles on the inside of the legs work? Then pull so much that the knees start to bend in our plie squat, and then press away from center, fully extending the hips. Repeat again, pulling in, descending in your squat or plie, and press away to tall. Sets of 3, let's pull in, press away to tall. Then transfer weight to one leg, toe point on the other side, and then land toe ball heel. Same as before, let's stiffen the knees, push down and out, rooting those feet, turning on the butts, and pulling up the kneecaps. Then lightly pull together, and pull together so that you descend with control. Then press away, fully extending the hips at the top. Repeating twice more, it's that pull in to control gravity on the descent, and then that press away to full stand. One more time, pulling in, finding your feet if you need, and then pressing away. And then assemble those feet back together. A little bit of a shake and a wiggle to stay loose as well. And then I think we're going to the
zoo.
Excellent.
All right. We'll come back to the floor again and explore that down dog, but in a couple different ways. So let's first forward fold ourselves to the floor, stacking and rolling yourself over top of those hips, hanging out in your forward fold, as mentioned 3 times. Next, let's walk ourselves out to that down dog. So that A-frame shape, the tailbones tip towards the ceiling, that heels are gently pressing towards the floor. Let's, on the first one, leave our hands where they are, but try to walk our feet as close as we can to our hands, keeping them flat on the floor. Hold this position for a second. Whew. Now we're going to walk out to a plank. Into that regular plank position and hold. In that plank, our cheeks are squeezed, our core is braced, and we're pulling the floor together underneath us. Couldn't move you if I tried. For 5, 4, 3, 2, tip the tailbone, lift the hips. Walk the feet in again one more time. Well, that's a little bit of, you'll have to do it one more time. Get those feet as close as you can, hands flat, and we have one more plank. If you want to challenge your plank this time, could you walk those hands out further than your shoulders, ending up in that extended plank position and holding this position for about 10 seconds. Squeezing the cheeks, bracing the core, keeping those shoulders down out of your ears for 3, 2, one more time, tailbone tip. Walk those feet to the hands. Watch out for walls. Slowly take your time in that most compressed position. Press the floor away through the palms, and then slowly stack yourself all the way up to tall. Inchworm meets an elephant.
Excellent. What a hybrid species right there. Continuing those squats, let's take a single 2 feet.
Wait, was my inchworm meets an elephant?
It was remarkable is what it was.
Thank
We'll go knees over toes,
Okay.
and then balance on a single leg and point the other one out to the front. Then press off that back leg. That we're in our nice little high split stance. The front leg is bent on the knee, but vertical in the shin. Both toes are pointing forward. From here, push.
Do you know what you're doing?
I do.
It's a visual.
Pull ourselves back so that our upper body is upright, like Lauren is showing right there, and those quads may be parallel. Then push off that back leg, returning to the front. Could you point the toe in the back and then even allow yourself to flex over those toes? Then over the toes to go toe, ball, heel. The back leg is pulling forward, pushing forward as that front leg is pulling back, sitting back in that squat again, and then load up off that back leg, push through, and over on the foot. Repeating one more time, toe, ball, heel in the back. The back leg pulls forward, the front leg pulls backwards, hang out in that squat, and then press through to tall. Now bring the knee together, parallel along the front, and can you create that room to clear the foot underneath? Take a little bit of a step back and to take the other leg towards forward here. We'll go knees over toes. I believe I had my right leg out the back, so here that right leg's out front. Then press off the back and arriving on the front leg. Toe, ball, heel in the back. My back leg here is pulling forward as my front leg pulls back, aiming to sit in our nice squat. Then press off that back leg, extend the hips completely, and allowing yourself to explore the rolling over action on that back foot. Then toe, ball, heel in the back, full foot. Front leg pulls back, back leg pulls forward, hanging onto the balance here this morning, and then press off to tall yet again, over the foot if you can. Then toe, ball, heel for the last one. Pull the front leg in, pushing the back leg forward, and then to arrive tall again, press off the back, knees together, and clear the foot underneath. We'll continue to work on our squats today at those ankles and hips in conjunction with the crawl.
We'll go back to the floor and this time explore our lizard. I don't have a move for that. Let's hinge ourselves down this time. So chip chop in those hips. Hips go back, shins stay vertical. We'll walk ourselves out first, assuming our plank position. Hands under shoulders, hips slightly tucked. Now taking a single leg, let's flick the floor with the toes, bring the leg up, and try to find the foot near the hand. Once it's here, can you reach out that front knee, reach out that back heel like you're splitting yourself in half? Then pull tension back into center, trying to lift the foot into a hover position off the floor and place it back where you got it. Repeat on the other side. Flick the floor away. Lift, place that foot down. Try not to wiggle into this, but to get to it with strength. Reach out the heel, reach out the front knee. Then pull back into center, lifting that foot, placing it back. Repeat one more time each side. Flick. Place foot down. Reach away from center. That should feel nice again through the hip flexors and that adductor. Then lift, place back. One last time. Flick, soft landing. Reaching out both. Reach, reach, reach. This time, I want you to leave that foot there. Can we then bring the other foot up, ending up in our low squat position? Try to be as low as you can, keeping your heels down, your chest nice and extended, and then press up to tall.
To tall. Excellent. Let's work on a little bit of those weight transfer squats as Lauren warmed up those hips. So we'll start with our feet parallel, turn out to first, and then take that extra little step to that sumo or second position.
Sumo or second?
Sumo or second. From there, we'll pull ourselves down, then press to a single leg and hold a quick balance. Then point and land toe ball heel, pulling yourself low, and transition to the other side. Maybe have that balance aid nearby just in case. Then point, toe ball heel, press away, hold the balance, point, slow for control, absorbing the ground. Again, to the other side. Stiffen the leg. The other knee is to the side and point. Toe ball heel. And one more time, press to tall. Knee side. Then point, land toe ball heel. And our final repetition here. Balance, hold, point. One more time in the squat. Take a breath down here. Maybe add a little wiggle. And then press away for power. Assemble the feet together. And then the shake and the wiggle.
Excellent. We're going to come back down this time, do a little frog, then meet a monkey along the way. So getting back into a regular squat position, let's pull ourselves back down. Pulling down. Our frog will be in a forward pattern, so we'll place our hands down, transfer our weight, and think about hopping softly our 2 feet in. If this needs to be a 1-2 experience, you could take off a foot, a 1-2. But as allowed, try to hop in that forward frog as you can. Each time absorbing the floor through the hands, trying to transfer that weight and find that split second. Do frogs go backwards? They do here. Hands, push yourself back. Hands will be in tight and you'll push your feet back. One last time, hands, press back. And then from the squat position, let's just take a second and stand up. Whew. So in this zoo, frogs go forward and backwards. Monkeys travel side to side. It's a very real place we live in.
Yes, this is quite the zoo.
Pull ourselves down to that squat position. Now, to be a monkey, it'll be a hand, hand, a foot, foot. Hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, foot, foot. Can you travel around the room a little bit side to side? Being your monkey, going back to where you came from. And again, soft on the landings, absorbing the floor with the hands and the feet. Come back in and press up to tall. Whew.
Excellent.
I think they're related.
Yes, those frogs and monkeys, they're from the same family tree, at least at this zoo.
The tree.
Ha ha. Let's return to legs and hips. Let's start from standing yet again and just pull up to our little flamingo now. In that flamingo stance, can we just challenge our single leg squats for 3 repetitions? It's that knee towards overtoe, followed by that hip extension through. Repeating twice more, use your balance aid as you need. The knee towards over the toe, extend the hip through, kneecap fully pulled up, butt cheek fully squeezed. One last time, knee over toe, extend the hip through, and maybe try to find a little toe balance in there. Keep the knee stiff, keep the hip extended, up with control, and also down with that slow control repetition. Repeating to the other side. Last set of 3. Pull up to the ankle. Easy does it. Knee towards over the toe. Then extend the hip through, pull the kneecap up, and stiffen at the butt cheek, and repeat twice more. Knee over toe. Extend the hip through, In our final repetition, knee over toe, press the hip through, and think about finding that little air between the heel and the ground. Up with control, down with control, return to 2 feet tall standing, and add that little shake. As our final movement for today, let's revisit that rib cage from that splits position and just enjoy some of that lovely action of the ribs. There's no rules here. Maybe come down in your pistol squat, come down in your hinge or fold, or your campfire squat there, and then open up to our tall sit here. With those hands out in front, Lauren asked us to slide the rib cage side to side. Check. Then the rotation. Rotation at the head and neck. Then rotation at the body. Maybe keep a single hand, ooh, bless you. Keep a single hand out front. You might change that other one to the side. And then head to center, torso to follow. Same thing other side, the rotation at the head and neck. Once that's achieved, open up through the body next. Take a breath out there. Then return the head to center and the torso to follow. One last time, chin tuck. Rotation, head, neck, and then it's that T-spine rotation next. Your sternum may be looking at that foot out in front. Then the head to center, rib cage to follow, and final repetition, the head, neck, check. Rotate through the torso. The sternum or rib cage may face that leg out to the side. Then return the head, return the torso, take your breath, and check in. From here, we'll stand. Stay on the floor and enjoy that position if that's for you, or come on up. Any version of our getup is great for you. Come on up. Thank you very much for joining us here live at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings, where we play with our strength and start to remain supple and stay strong with some of our simple favorite stretches.
Thank you to our members at barsandbells.com and our Patreons. We appreciate your support. Together, we take care, stay strong, and we'll train soon.
We'll do it again.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.